All right. So, as we pick it off, the combat has ended. The 9 basilisks who were charging through this open market. Uh, One of them was killed. The other 8 have been restrained. There is a cadre of knights who say that they work for the Baron who have arrived on the scene. There are several frozen people. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 commoners who have been petrified and turned to stone. 2 guards who have been turned to stone. 1 guard who is just flat out dead. And then Galahadrin, who has also been fully petrified. And as knights come out and they put the last of the basilisks in the chains, it's like, good work, citizens. The Baron sends his thanks for helping to capture his goods.
Will the Baron also be unpetrifying those that his pets turned to stone?
That is something that the charity of the church should be able to accomplish. Let's go round these up. So you, yeah.
This is a noble's mess. Why is the church cleaning it up? What does this guy have on the church?
Well, this is no concern. These were just. He sort of looks at you and is just like, "Why do you care?"
I wasn't saying that out loud.
Yeah,
that was just me thinking that. I was thinking it very loudly.
It's an abdication of responsibility as far as you're concerned. So
yeah,
not necessarily an actionable thing, but yeah. Rhea, I believe you're down on like the lower docks. You've captured one of the basilisks yourself, and your wings are out.
And I'm livid.
The knights are like calling forth other guards in the similar livery, which is different than the town guards who have sort of tried to help you contain these basilisks, and they're sort of grabbing them and putting them on the carts and just trying to get them loaded up to take away again. They're looking at the dead one. They're like, "Oh, it's a shame." It's like, you good sir," and I guess it would approach Abel unless anybody else is making themselves more clear to be like in yeah.
There's 2 dead ones.
There's 2 dead basilisks?
Yeah, I was gonna kill the one that was hurt.
Are you still going to kill it even though it's in a net?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. With advantage, because it is restrained. That is going to miss, and not as he's like,
they're with advantage though. You didn't roll advantage.
Oh yeah, roll advantage on both.
Oh, here.
I thought they rolled twice, but yes. You can hit the up arrow next to the number result to roll with advantage. Nope.
What the fuck?
Okay. They're like,
numbers.
Control your animal, and they're going to
control your
drag
animals.
The basilisk away. It's like, they're contained now. It's like, good sir, it's like and like the one knight sort of breaks off from the others, leaves the rest of the thing, and he goes up to you and it's like, good sir, it seems to me that you and your compatriots have done the Baron a great favor in containing these basilisks. You are due a just reward for this. The Duke is willing to pay out a reward of 40 gold per basilisk captured. However, there shall be a fine of 100 gold for every basilisk killed. And it seems like you've killed 1, so 40 times 8 minus 100. Here you go. And he sort of drops or hands you a coin purse.
Hang on now. That man over there is dead because of the Baron's negligence. My friend is petrified, as are several citizens.
And the Duke sends his condolences.
His condolences?
Pushes. Yep.
I do not accept his money. His blood money.
Yeah, this is actually when Alina is going to fly up over the lip of the wall. And she is going to, and the game is paused, but it's fine.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Free me! Put me with my friends!
You're freed! You're no longer petrified! Oh yeah, you are by a wall, though.
I'm free! Yeah. She is going to land about...
Oh, good sir, I did not know that there was a paladin here. Oh, excuse me, sir, I did not see you down there. Here you go, you are obviously in charge. They hand you the gold reward instead, as the one of obvious higher rank than Abel.
Would I know that, like, using the basilisks stuff is like the only way to get them unpetrified?
Abel knows that. Abel knows that you can use. There's other ways, but that
Okay.
is definitely the easiest way. Otherwise, requires like pretty decently strong magic. Abel knows that. If Abel wants to share that for everybody else, it's at Abel's prerogative. Phelan is kind of just going to be looking at Abel as like, these guys kind of suck, but I'm not sure how the politics work. So
Yeah.
you tell me what to do, and you follow. I'll lead.
Mara's gonna ask about Galahadran. She's gonna be like, is he like that investigative sniff of
Abel has used, or not Abel, but Phelan has used his bird to pick up Galahadra and like bring him closer to Abel. It's like, I got him, I guess.
Mara and Dirt are like
That is
concerned.
a strong bird.
She's like, is he gonna be okay?
How much gold was handed to me?
There is a token that is next to you guys, but it's 220 gold.
What is your name? To the man trying to hand me gold.
I am, I'm Sir Benedict.
Sir Benedict.
The House of Von Claw.
Is there anyone not petrified around me? A guard? Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the guard. I'm gonna yell at the guard down below and be like, "Do you know this man?" Pointing.
He would have
not
come up
Benedict,
at this point.
The dead one.
The other one was like, "Oh yes, that was Gunther. He was 2 days until retirement.
Does he have a family?
Of course, loving father. He wish he shall be missed."
Sir Benedict, you will not be handing me this blood money. In fact, you will be taking it to the deceased name was Gunther, correct? You will be taking it to the home of Gunther, and you will be handing it to his father. And then you will be taking me to see the Duke, and we will be making reparations for all that these people have.
The Baron. If I've said
Baron.
Duke, I'm sorry. The Baron. Yeah.
The man, the bad dude.
Yeah. He's gonna look at you. Make a persuasion roll.
Wait, do my wings help?
They're actually looking at you, and they just assume that you're a paladin.
Gross.
That's enough for them to listen to you. That's not enough for advantage.
No!
They're gonna look and it's like, good noble, Sir Knight. I know that your empathy for these men is commendable, but that is none of the Baron's business. These are town guards who did their duty, and they died doing what they were supposed to do. That is, their compensation upon death is between them and the Countess. The Baron will definitely have words with the Countess, and maybe will contribute to the hazard pay pile, but that is not what my concern is. I am merely rewarding your party of, looks around as like, retainers for assisting in this matter. If you please...
You've heard my request for the money. It's my reward. I can do whatever I want with it.
You
give
can.
It to the man's family.
Looks at you and just like, just goes over to the corpse and just like puts on the corpse and is like, hey, they can come collect it. Men, gather the basilisk.
I'm gonna kill this man. I'm not 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 gonna kill this man. Elena just looks at Abel. And she's so upset. You talk to him. You do it. I don't want to do this anymore.
Some of the unpetrified guards sort of come up to you, Abel, and it's like, thank the Trinity that you were here to save us from that. I don't know if we could have suffered many more casualties if your men hadn't stepped in.
I respond without looking at it, just like, of course, it's what anyone would do.
Yes, I would recommend taking the Baron's reward. I'm not sure what we can do for the petrified ones. We can inquire at one of the cathedrals, see if they can do something for it. But
what are you going to do with the corpses? The corpse of I shouted the other night.
Oh no, they can be taken to the House of Rithmus and buried.
No, of the basilisk. You can
of the dead one.
Yes, you can at least restore some of these men.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you don't know that how to cure the basilisk petrification?
I assume that's for priests to do. I'm not sure what a corpse of a basilisk would. You know this because you're an alchemist. This is not like common knowledge,
Okay.
but everybody
By the
knows.
Trinity. And the Baron must have incredibly low standards. The basilisk's gullet can be used to make a poultice, which cures petrification. All of these men here can be saved. Well, except for that
good.
one.
But you can have the ruined goods that you killed. You've already paid for them with the fine deducted from your earnings for capturing the rest. But yes, leave. Yes, you may have that if that satiates your complaints. Then go ahead. You can have it.
So it was a fine of 80 gold to
100 gold.
100 gold, and he handed us 220.
Yep.
Okay.
After the fine, it's capturing 8 was 320, and then the fine of 100, so 220.
Okay. Oh, so...
And each gullet can make salve for 3 patients.
Right. So if out of the reward, if we kill one, that it's actually minus 100.
Are you asking me or the knight?
Me. Or
yes. If you kill another, he will deduct.
140.
He will at least deduct 140 because you have captured one less and you've killed one.
Right. And how many people are petrified? There's
4.
Galahadrian.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So I'm just going to walk over to this guard's corpse here. I'm going to take out another 140 gold from it and hand it to the guy and say, "We'll take 2 and grab this wounded one."
Isor looks at you and is like, "No, that is not the deal. That is the Baron's property. He is not selling this to you. There'll be much more, but a heavy fine if you do that. Don't you dare." And, like, the knights start to try and converge. They're already trying to haul the basilisk away, but Dirt and Marrow are definitely closer to it. So, if you guys want a coup de grace, they are not going to be happy about it. Oh yeah, you just, as you're having this discussion, Marrow just jumps up and tears its throat out, and it is... The knight's like, "You, how dare you? This is unbecoming.
This is church business, remember?"
"What do you mean this is church? This is the Baron's. The Baron will hear about this."
The net was coming apart.
Yeah,
we had
he
to
got loose.
for the safety of the town.
Make a persuasion with disadvantage.
Can we?
I mean, I'm not trying to
him?
convince him. I'm just trying to like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, intimidation as well. Like, yeah, you can get advantage on intimidation. Oh yeah, between the two of you, they're just like, they're not happy about it, but they back off and they let you have that second basilisk, and they just hurry to get the rest onto some carts to wheel them away. It's like, "I was going to put in a good word on your behalf of the Baron. Now I see that you are not mercenaries of good repute. Come in."
I'd rather you keep our names out of your mouth.
If Marrow had fingers, she would be flipping this guy off.
Yeah, they cart the rest of the basilisk away in a harm. They're getting him away from you as fast as possible.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna come back up to this guard. I don't think we got a name for him. And I'm just gonna say, have your men bring the corpses with me. We need to go to an alchemist shop.
Of course, I know one that's in the neighborhood. It's men. Grab. How many will you be able to cure?
We should be able to get all of them, plus one more in case this happens again.
Glorious. I think that the reason this mess started was one of the handlers was petrified, and that's how they got loose. Well, I'll have my men grab him as well. The men, and he just starts shouting orders. Okay. It's like, "I'm technically not in charge, but the person in charge is dead, so I'm taking command here."
Oh, was that was Gunther?
Yes, Gunther. Poor Gunther. He was the most senior man, 2 days away from retirement.
Well, he can have the rest of this gold reward, however much it is. I'm not doing math.
Minus 140, that'd be like 80 gold.
80 gold, yeah. That's a pretty good pension for his family.
Yeah, it would be. All right.
Before we run off, I'm going to ask the guard in front of me, who I did not get his name either, and be like, can you lead me to Gunther's home, or his family's home?
I need medical attention. If one of the other guards could do that.
Well, whoever.
Oh, yes, no,
I asked someone.
Of course, yeah, so one of the guards is like, I'll lead you, and they lead you to Gunther's home.
Before I walk away and before my wings disappear, I'm gonna touch the guard in front of me. You're looking for 6.
Oh, by the Trinity, that is... Oh, thank you. Good sir, good. It is a blessing that we had a paladin to save us this day.
I am no paladin. And she leaves it as cryptically as possible and walks away.
Hey.
We're going. We're leaving.
They're not sure what to make of that, but they're not going to question it. Alright, so yeah, you're able to go to an alchemist shop, you're able to make the salve. Making the time that it takes to make the salve, you are going to miss your boat.
That's fine.
Well, there's 2 a day apparently, so.
Yep. So.
Did we get travel insurance in case of basilisk attack?
I think that you have, with all the mitigating circumstances, they're like, oh yes, if you're just going to take the late afternoon one, that's perfectly fine. So.
Okay.
It is now 2 p.m. You're at an alchemist shop. The guards have brought all the petrified people. You've done the salve. I assume you're applying it to Galahadrian first, so Galahadrian will be unpetrified.
Yes, absolutely.
It worked! Thank you.
I'm so glad you're all right.
Where are the basilisks?
They've been taken care of. They've captured or killed.
Where are we?
We are in a little alchemist shop, where I have just well, you see the gullet of the basilisk. You can extract it to make a salve, which cures petrification. So I applied it to you about an hour ago, and now you're not petrified anymore. The other guards that were petrified should be coming around soon as well.
Galahadrian has to process this. Well, good work, everyone.
Yes, how are you feeling?
A little stiff, dusty.
Yes, that's totally normal. You should just you should be able to just move and stretch, and it'll clear up over the next couple of days.
Oh, did Valen's bird get bigger?
The bird has disappeared. Phelan's put the bird away.
Oh.
It was.
I'm excited about the bird.
It was actually 2 birds. And get this, no stones. Very proud of myself.
Oh, Galahadrian was the stone.
Sure.
2 birds can carry 1 stone.
Oh, I like that. That's good too.
Yeah, so I'll fill Galahadrian in on what he missed.
And he just took them back as pets? He didn't make any attempt to fix what he did?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Oh, what is the name of the Lord?
Abel, go ahead and make a history check, because you've been in this city before, but you don't know every baron. No. Never heard. He said a house name, Von Kaw, you've never heard of it. So
it's House Von Kaw, but I've never heard of them before.
Well, they're going on the enemies list.
I'd say that's reasonable.
I can't believe I missed the basilisk fight. I feel like I almost got one.
I mean, you got the quintessential basilisk fight. You got petrified by the basilisk.
You're right, I did.
I'm just glad that we were able to bring you back.
Was I a good statue?
You were the best statue.
Thank you.
Oh, we should have gotten the mold.
Yeah! Next time. Next time, get a mold.
Yeah, hopefully there isn't a next time, though.
The line, "Was I a good statue?" reminds me of One Piece.
Yeah. The wax.
Shut up, or it's gonna be too late. You're gonna be stuck in a dumb pose.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm cutting my legs off. What are you gonna do after that? I
I don't know. What are you doing now? I want a cool pose. If we're gonna get frozen, I want to look cool. I love him so much.
But yeah, you're in this alchemist shop. The guards are very grateful that you have unpetrified so many of them, and then some of the citizens say, "Oh, great! Thank you very much. Your assistance is greatly appreciated in this."
Of course. Does this happen often?
Thankfully, no. So the Baron usually keeps a tight reins on the creatures in his menagerie, but when they do get out, it's he rounds them up. There's sometimes some casualties, but it was a lot of very dangerous beasts this time. I'm not sure if we would have been able to handle it.
Yeah, I don't know that I approve of keeping such creatures so close to a population center. It seems irresponsible.
Well, they're usually kept in the menagerie, just a bit inland outside of the edge of the city.
How did
It's
they
a
get
collection
all over
of-
the docks then?
Oh, I was speaking with some men. They were trying to transport them. Apparently, they were due to be shipped up to Norest. Some of the Baron's business is he has a lot of animals on display, but he also buys and sells them. That's how they make a decent amount of their income.
I see. Who's buying basilisks?
Beats me, sir, my lord. So don't really have the income to speculate on such a thing. So with some nobles or alchemists or such, not they're like the alchemists who shop here, and it's like, oh, they have many useful ingredients and magical creatures from the outskirts of the frontier, and hear that the Baron gets many that he buys off adventurers who go hunting in Senket, which is, as you would know, the sort of like jungle isthmus island thing that is in the middle of the Cerulean, south of Avency.
Okay.
Galahadrian, meanwhile, is getting a play-by-play on the action
The Tangle is what I called it, but the continent is Senket.
from Phelan, trying to get, like, what happened then? What happened next? How did the sword blow look? That's what I'm doing back.
I know that you had missed your boat in order to assist us, so I say we do appreciate the help. We'll make sure that you can get in your next one. If you were shame you're not sure you don't want to stay a bit longer, we can put in a good word to the Countess for you.
No, unfortunately, pressing business takes us onward. Although I would appreciate if you passed on that good word anyway.
Of course. Yes, Sir Whitewater, and yes, Sir Catalia it was.
That's right.
So yes, it's always a blessing to see a paladin walking the streets protecting the common people. So it was good to see. I must ask, good sir, which of the gods do you serve? I don't recognize any of your regalia as a particular order.
Is he speaking to Galahadrian in this?
I was like,
No,
I'm
he is
not
speaking
here.
to Alina. He's
I'm not
no
there.
eyes for Galahad.
Alina's not there.
Oh, Alina's not there. Oh, right. Well,
She went to go and meet with.
Then he would not do that.
with
So,
Gunther.
well, it's not taking, you would go to see Gunther's family, and, like, it's not a long trip. You would be back by the time Abel has all the pulses, all the
no, yeah, that's
salves
fair.
done and everything. If you want to roleplay that.
I mean, I was just waiting. It doesn't matter if you want to roleplay it.
Yeah, you can, guard takes you to, the house of, like, Gunther's got, like, a widow, a couple, like, teenage age kids.
She's gonna knock on the door.
Oh, yes, come in. Oh, hello. What can I do for you, sir?
Hello, I am, my name is Alina.
Hello, Alina.
I felt like it was my responsibility to. I'm terrible at this. I'm so. She takes
That's
a
quite
moment
all
and
right.
she-
Quite all right. It's and you're here. Oh, you're here with Jeff. Hey, Jeff. How's the shift going? It's like, it could be going better, Mary. It's like, what do you mean? Where's Gunther?
The Baron's basilisks escaped the menagerie.
Oh dear.
And your husband did not make it.
Oh my. She sort of slumps, just sort of leaves
Alina
the door,
will, like,
walks over to a chair, and just, like,
well,
slumps
like,
down
catch
in
her
it.
and help her to her chair.
Yeah.
And she's gonna take a knee in front of Mary. And she's going to say, me and my friends happened to be passing by when the situation happened, and we were able to wrangle the basilisks. And we were offered this reward, but I did not think it was right for us to take it. In fact, I would rather you take it, if you will have it.
Oh my, by the gods. Oh, it's she sort of takes it, she's like,
I do slip 20 more gold in there, by the way.
okay, mark that off, and she's like, I don't, thank you, I shouldn't accept it, but I feel that without Gunther around, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I apologize, good sir, it's just, this is a lot to process out. 2 days until retirement.
I'm incredibly sorry, and I wish that I could do more.
Yes, and she just kind of, like, loses herself, 1,000-yard stare.
I sit with her for a moment, and then I stand, and when I make my way to the door, I turn around and I do a full bow to her and to each of her children, and I touch my heart, and I leave.
Yeah, as the door closes behind you, they all sort of gather at the table for a big group hug and cry. Jeff's like, it's a very decent thing you did there, sir.
It's the least I could have done, and it is not nearly enough.
Never is.
Is he always like that, the Baron?
Baron, tries to stick to himself, usually, but, what they say, newer money. Sort of recently, the menagerie is rather lucrative for him, between being a great attraction for tourists and nobles to gaze at the beasts, and the trade he does. So, usually keeps to himself, fortunately, but it's not really much that we can do when the nobles decide that they want to do something or don't want to face consequences. It's rough. The Countess does what she can, but there's only so much as she can do with all the various competing interests, if you would. It's politics.
She sighs to herself and she goes, I only wish everyone could be held to the same accountability.
I do too, but, it could be worse. Could be living in the duchies.
She laughs. And she goes, as someone from the duchies, I agree.
Oh, my apologies. I did not mean it that way.
Oh no, she legitimately is smiling, and she looks at him and she goes, "No worries, my friend."
I meant we could be in Colmar. Yes, that would be much worse
No,
place.
take it back. You can
Ugh.
say the Duchies. The
Oh
Duchies
no,
is
I don't
the
feel comfortable saying that
worst.
anymore. Oh
She
boy, and he
doesn't turn a laugh and
just awkwardly leads you back to the alchemist shop.
she laughs basically the whole way.
He is mortified.
When we hit the apothecary, she's going to clap him on the shoulder.
He flinches. Yep, here it is, good sir. Pleasure, thank you again for all the help. I need to get back to my patrol. And he just scurries off.
Just full dead sprints away. Like anime wheel legs running.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I'm back. Now the man can ask me that question.
Alright,
Take
yeah,
two.
fast forward, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, I don't recognize your regalia. What god have you sworn a vows to, if I might ask?
I actually serve all three, if I'm being honest, but...
Oh my, it's quite commendable. I hear that is a hard oath to fulfill.
You can say that.
Well, you saved many good men here today. We greatly appreciate it. I will put in a good word for you all to the Countess. Let her know that you assisted in this.
Will you also add that someone should be checking in on Miss Mary and her children?
I will make sure that we do that ourselves. We take care of our own here.
I did what I could, but it is never enough.
It's never enough, but you did more than most. We appreciate that. And they take the remaining salve and they take care of their own guys from here on out. Abel. So.
Alright. Sounds like it's time for us to get onto a boat.
You have a few hours until the boat arrives, but you can just wait at the docks if you'd like.
Hopefully there's not another basilisk attack.
Well, I just like if there's nothing else you guys want to do in the town, we'll just fast forward to the boat.
To the boat.
I'm gonna have a celebratory drink with by Galahadron, a celebratory drink.
Huzzah!
For not being petrified.
To not being stone.
There's if you're getting a drink by the docks, the bartender will comp you guys a drink each. It's like, very brave thing you did. Saved some of my good customers. Delayed those basilisks just long for them to seek refuge in here and spend good money.
All in a day's work. And he kind of tip his hat, tip the glass at him, or do the the gesture.
Yeah.
And then take a drink.
All right.
Is it good?
He gave you like mid-shelf like shots, like whiskey or something. I'm not sure if Galahadron would think it's great.
I mean, I don't think Galahadron's gonna complain about free alcohol.
No. But yeah, you guys get. If there's nothing else you want to do, the afternoon boat arrives. It is a sort of passenger's barge. Abel, you would know that the reason why there's 2 barges a day, and they're primarily for passengers, is that they're mostly infrastructure for communications. So like the first person on the boat, like in the front, is a messenger of like a courier bag that is just there to transfer news up and down the river, and that's just what he does for his profession. Just goes between Norest and Trentham, just delivering messages for people. And then the rest are just like, mainly middle to upper class people who can afford the fare for the boat. It is a gold each for passage, which I believe you guys... Did you guys already pay that? I think you did.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
So yeah, so it's not... This isn't something that, like, commoners can easily take and do and stuff, but it is there for the the kingdom sort of makes sure that it runs timely between their two biggest cities, so they can keep in touch. Since you are going upriver, it is a longer trip. It's
You said
8
8
days.
days, right?
Yeah, 8 days up the river. Because you need to be pulled. There's like oxes on the riverside that are pulling the barge up against the flow, and occasionally during like stronger bits of the current, the shipwrights or the crew will take out poles and they'll like pull, help paddle themselves up and whatnot. But it is 8 days of a journey. There are several towns that are along the river. I'm not sure if any of you want to stop in them. They're a bit off to like, you pass through lands that are controlled by Gavin Shelton Castle, who's Meredith's grandfather, or your aunt's father, so to speak. But his castle is not necessarily on the riverbanks; it's more further inland. So.
Yeah, I don't know that we have time to stop for a social visit. We gotta get those guns back and do some research, right? Because I'm trying to remember. Because I remember I have an excuse to go that I want to get the guns back and talk to the prince. But I think our main objective was just research, right? That's what we decided.
Yes, we need to
believe
figure
so.
out where the whites are coming from also. And the famine. There's whites.
Yeah, but the famine, we probably need to go back to Pontem, but we don't want to go back without the guns.
Mm-hmm. The Rithmis guys in Seabreeze.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of research, yeah.
Alright.
On our journey, I'm gonna look at Abel at some point and sort of sigh and go, what are the likelihoods that we're going to run into to Rowan while we're there? Probably high, right?
I'd say almost a certainty.
Listen, I know it's my fault. I shouldn't have romanced the idiot, but here we are.
I mean, I'm hardly one to be throwing stones in my glass house.
Yeah, because we were friends. You had met Rowan. You know Rowan.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just like sighing. She's just like, ugh.
I'm not.
He's my friend.
What would Abel's sort of opinion of, I believe, a scion of one of the marquee houses, who's not necessarily an idiot?
Wait, could be an idiot.
Abel knows him. Abel knows he's not necessarily an idiot.
I mean, but did I think it was a good match, though?
That's up to you.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is like, I mean, it would definitely be a.
The thing about Rowan, the sort of like brief thing that I wrote about him, is he and his family are strong supporters of the Shield faction. He has high standards for his ideal of how nobles should act for the common good, instead of their own betterment. Like he is a noblesse oblige sort of person.
Okay.
I would like to throw out. She does say that because he is still her friend. Rowan is still her friend. Abel also, they spent every morning sparring, Alina and Abel.
Oh yeah.
And so Abel would also hear the dumb shit he did in their relationship too.
Yeah. So Abel's perspective is probably like, you knew Rowan outside of the relationship with Alina, and he was very much a good noble. Around Alina, he was a bit more of a dumber puppy dog. So, like he was decent. Like he was a straight B student, but like next to Alina, it's just like, I can't compare to this.
The decent fellow kind of made himself into a fool for love, it seems like.
Very much,
and I'm very much listening to the story, just like, girl.
I didn't know he was a B student.
Yeah, he's not a C student, but just like, hey, he passed his classes. He's there for connections. He didn't
roll a natural 20 on it.
No, he's the son of a marquis. Like he's set.
What do insects and the ocean have to do with study?
Uh,
B's and C's.
well, it's letter grades. Do you not have schools in the Court of Summer?
Somewhere we do. I have private tutors.
We had them in the woods. It's a
I
church
see.
school.
Right. I remember Phelan. Well, so Galahadron, the way that the um, Norest Academy works is you're assigned, depending on how well you do, you get assigned a letter to represent how well you did. So the first few letters of the alphabet are A, B, C, and D.
I really wanted to use the grade point thing as just like a demonstration of his capability. I'm not sure if I want to say this world uses the letter grade system. It's not a system I'm necessarily a fan of.
Okay. So what is the grading system?
I don't know. Let's just stick with it. Sure, why not? I
Is
didn't
it-
think we were going to have a discussion on it.
Yeah.
I could just say top marks.
Yeah, top marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I will explain the grading system to Galahadron.
Oh. Galahadron tries to pay attention. He tries his best.
Phelan does not.
I imagine
Well,
Phelan already
Galahadron.
knows.
It's like, we use something, different. It was mainly just they told us stuff, we told it back. It was like, and if we didn't say it right, then we got in trouble. It was kind of it.
But Galahadron, Abel and I went to school together. We practiced fighting. We sparred every morning.
Oh, wonderful.
I helped him with some of his classes. He helped me with people. I'm terrible at people.
It doesn't seem that way to me.
Well, I appreciate it. It's all thanks to Abel, truly. He's a one of a kind when it comes.
You flatter me too much.
I flatter you not enough, friend.
Aw. And what's your score?
My
I
score?
believe.
Your score at the you sparred. Who's winning?
Oh. It's let's see. How many wins do you have over me, Eilina? I lost count.
I have also lost count.
Fighting was never my strong suit.
Maybe you need a shield.
I mean, Abel always works well with others, like in
Yeah.
fighting in pairs. You could always be his shield, Galahadron.
Oh, wonderful. I'll have to stay a little bit away from the what did they call the new device, the boomstick?
The castle clearer.
The castle clearer. Its cold iron is somewhat off-putting. It seems to be malicious.
Oh yes, it is quite malicious. I agree. In the best way though. I'll put it away if it makes you uncomfortable.
Well, thank you.
Although you're wearing metal armor, aren't you? Isn't that steel under there, under those flowers?
It's not steel. It's fey metal.
Oh.
May I take a look at it?
Sure. Galahadron shows everyone does a little spin. Takes off a piece.
Well, when Lev returns, I would like to look upon it with my blacksmith's eyes.
I bet it's gonna be grown from a tree or something.
Sung into existence.
I'm back.
Alright.
We're just admiring Galahadron's twirl, or I am at least. Abel is.
And Alina is, because Galahadron said it was fey metal. So Alina would like to examine
Galahadron's armor.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was fey metal.
Because Galahadron made a comment that he didn't like the castle clears because it was cold iron.
Yes, but I'm trying to remember if he took all the Green Knight's armor, or if he just took the cloak. And
I just took the cloak.
you just
I
took
didn't
the cloak.
take
Okay.
his medal.
Yeah. All right.
So-
So yeah, but yeah, you want to do an inspection thing on the metal for the regular armor?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What do I roll?
Whatever your blacksmithing check would be,
Oh god.
but with intelligence instead of strength. So int plus proficiency.
Int plus proficiency. Oh, my int is terrible.
No.
It's not
None of your stats are terrible. So
I know, but int is probably the worst. What is our proficiency bonus right now?
3, I believe.
Can I just add 3 to that?
At 3, so 20. It's incredibly well made. It doesn't, looking upon it, it doesn't seem to be iron or steel. It's not like enchanted or magical armor, but it's definitely not of like a metal that you have seen before, but it's not like shocking that like, oh, this is a metal that doesn't exist, or it's like, no, it's made of something. It's definitely real metal. It's just it doesn't look like steel or iron that you're familiar with. It's some other composite
Cool.
alloy rather.
I'm gonna write that down, and I'm going to, because if I ever need to repair his stuff or make him stuff, I would like to not burn his skin. So, cool.
Is
Yeah,
your sword made of the same materials?
That is correct. It's my training sword.
Your training sword.
Yes,
Um,
it's blunted.
I see. I had noticed that. Do you have a code against killing or something?
Seems like everything's a little bit fragile. I'd rather not. I just rather not. I mean, the heroes don't just. Well, I suppose they sometimes stab people, but I'd rather not. I'm going to be a hero that doesn't stab people. I'm going to resolve things, capture villains, beat sense into miscreants.
A commendable goal.
Yes, and very achievable. I'm going to do it to everyone that lives here until it's all great.
That sounds wonderful. I could get some sense beat into me. Did I say that out loud?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Alina does
yeah, you did.
elbow him.
Yeah.
It was just like, yes, you did.
Excuse me. I need to go
Balin
jump
covers
into
his
the river.
sparrow's ears, and he's like, "Oh, hey, there are newborns here. It's a day old." But yeah, on that note, that is the mood for the rest of the boat trip. After 8 days. So let's see. 6 days into the trip, the season changes into the month of Morin, which is the first month of fall. The night of the 45th, there is, as always, the Azurus is full in the sky, marking the end of the month and the start of a new one.
Can you pull up the calendar for us again? Or can I access that somehow?
Yeah, you should be able. If you click on, I think the pencil. No, it's the journal notes, the one underneath the pencil. There's the bottom one, simple calendar. I'll bring it up.
Yeah. And you guys should be able to make notes on the days and stuff too. So. You would arrive in Norest a bit before noon. You wouldn't arrive in Norest proper before noon. You would arrive in the docks in like a river port, that is just south of Norest before noon, and then there is a cart path that takes you to the city proper. This is kind of like the outskirts of the city. The city of Norest was originally the northwestern fort at the extent of the Avensi Empire. I'm going to turn off the port music.
Are we supposed to be seeing things?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Burp, burp, bah. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
Like
nice.
it.
Let me see what playlist I like for this. There we go. That works.
There's also a weird Wheel of Time song.
Sure.
No.
They're all from the same playlist of a guy who just used a bunch of Wheel of Time names. So yeah, Norris City. It is originally started as a fort in the most northwestern fort of the Avensi Empire. After the fall of Avensi itself, the military forces in the region sort of gathered around a few key forts, this one being the most important. The general at the time of the legions in the area, Esmeralda Rinsward, rallied the forces, pushed back the enemies that were sort of threatening to carve up the lands of Aventicuum, and sort of established what would eventually become the Kingdom of Bosmar. It remains the capital through mainly tradition and being a well-fortified place. It is not necessarily economically located in the greatest place, which is why Trentham is so much bigger. But just because it is the hub of administration and the military, and is still close enough by the major river, but it still has quite a lot of trade going in and out. It is also sort of a hub of trade. It is in between the Trentham, which is again the largest trading port, and then the river. The river's source is actually within the mountains surrounding Garandune, the nearby dwarven city, where many of the elves of the Lost Woods have also taken up refuge. So it's in a sort of crossroads of culture, but it is at the fringe of Aventicum itself. The walls stand tall and proud around the city proper, with a second set of walls inside and a massive castled keep that is built on the foundations of the original fort. And yeah, this is where some of you... Oh, wait, what happened here? That wasn't what I had. Oh, because I didn't put it on loop. There we go. Many key points of interest in this place: the palace where the royal family resides, the Norest Academy where the nobility and military officers are trained, various markets and shops and goods that are bought and sold here. But yeah, you arrive in Norest. What would you like to do? It is around noon.
I guess the first thing to do would probably be get the wheels rolling on getting an audience with either the prince or the princess, whichever one we think is going to be more helpful for figuring out the guns. I guess I'm gonna call a team meeting amongst everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a couple of things we need to do here. We need to find out more information about the Knights Eternal and prophecies and what the heck's going on with everything. So we need to do some research. But I figured while we're doing that, we can probably get the ball rolling with an audience with either the prince or the princess regarding the weapons that are currently impounded in Dranis. So we need to figure out what our actual ultimate objective for the weapons is.
I will also note, just because it's been a while, so you might have forgotten, Bishop Baileybrook, the Bishop of Felmar for Pontem, also gave you a letter of introduction to the Archbishop of Felmar for Norist, and sent ahead a letter of his own, sort of explaining his thoughts on Alina's wings and that whole situation.
Okay, yes, so we should probably use those to go and visit the Archbishop. So we should do that, definitely. I did forget
I also
about
think
that
I
picture.
should go with you to see either the prince or princess.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, do we actually want my uncle to get his hands on the guns? Because I have to make a show of trying to get them to him, but I can adjust how effectively I do that.
Hmm. It seems like to me that the guns are going to be in somebody's hands. So it's not whether or not your uncle has them, it's whose hands you want the guns to have. Or, no, wait.
No, this is a good point. It's whose hands do we want them to end up in?
Yes, that one. Yes.
Alright, so yes, I'm opening up the floor. Thoughts?
None.
I will say,
Some.
just for
Excellent.
reference, for the amount of guns it is, it's enough guns to arm, like, a private guard or a household army. It is not enough to arm, like, enough for a military incursion. Like, this is not coup level guns.
Yeah. Let me look in my inventory again, because I think if I remember it was right. No. Oh, I've got a. Oh, it's not in my inventory anymore.
No, they confiscated them.
Yeah, it just was in my inventory for a while.
Yeah.
Can I actually drag and drop things into the bandolier now?
You should be able to. I reconfigured that.
It's not letting me do it.
Oh.
It's equipped, yeah. Identified. Let me also try the, can I pull the shield out of DeLuca's bag of holding into my inventory? No, I don't think I can edit the contents of the bag.
Should be able to. It's weird.
Oh, here we go. Give to character.
Oh, I just took it. I just put it into your inventory.
Can I give to character? No options. That's not what I wanted.
Oh, so if you open the bandolier as like a window, and then you drag from your consumables into the bandolier, you can do that. And then likewise, I opened DeLuca's bag of holding, and I just dragged the shield out and put it on your character sheet.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Weird. It should.
I must not have some permissions.
I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's your bag. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah. You can give the whole bag to people. That's weird.
If they don't show up in my loot. I'm gonna can I drag and drop this into the bag of holding? No.
Huh, weird. Alright. We'll play with that.
Okay.
Another time. But I put Dawn's Reach into your equipment, so you should be able to give Dawn's Reach wherever you want.
doesn't let me give it to anybody.
Really?
It says there's a give to character button. I click on it. It brings up a little window. It says giving item Dawn's reach. Pick character, send item to. No option. Start typing.
Did you click on it?
Yeah.
I clicked on it and it brought down a whole list, and at the bottom is player characters.
Well, it's probably because you're the GM.
Try it now. You also all get a long rest, by the way. So, but try it now. You guys are next to each other.
Nope.
Weird. Okay. I can do it manually. Who do you want to give it to? Galadhrin?
I mean, yeah, Galadhrin, right?
Oh.
Yes, the shield.
And I should long rest.
All right, there you go.
Where are my hit dice? 5 out of 5. Okay, cool. So yes, the question is, whose hands do we want the guns to end up in? Galadhrin seems mostly neutral.
Well, I don't really understand the politics of the situation. I'm not really sure anybody should be using these, but I mean, I did just get here, so I feel like it's rude for me to just show up and be like, hey, you shouldn't use these things. They feel evil, loosely.
I don't think then and you may disagree with me, but I don't think we need to be dishonest about your uncle, Abel. Especially with the prince and princess. I think telling them what is happening isn't a terrible call unless that makes you uncomfortable.
I mean, they know that you are in his service.
Yes. I suppose I could just go and say, hey, what'll it take to get them back to my uncle? See if they have a task or something that they would need in exchange for the favor. But yes, I imagine that audience is going to take a little bit longer to arrange than the one with the bishop, who is expecting us, or at least has been informed about what's happening. So I guess I can go to the palace and like put in a petition and get in line, as it were, and then we can all go and talk to the bishop. How does that sound as a plan?
That sounds fine.
Okay, so I guess I will go to the palace and talk to. Well, I guess the prince is probably going to be more likely.
Like who do you want to like? You can go to the palace and like go up to the whoever the head of the household. I forget what position that is, like the major domo or whatnot.
Seneschal, yeah.
Yeah, so the seneschal. But like, oh yes, Mr. Whitewater. Presume what business do you need to bring to the prince's attention?
Yes, I need to straighten out a bit of a trade kerfuffle that happened in Dranis.
Okay. And how does that concern the prince?
Well, my uncle was. I should have been thinking about what. This is out of character. I should have been thinking about what my story was going to be.
Yeah, I assumed.
Yeah. Because I don't actually, in character, know what my uncle was planning on using the guns for.
Nope. And they were confiscated because they were illegally imported against the export rules of another kingdom that Bosmar wants to have good relations with. So.
So I guess I'm going to tell the Seneschal basically there is a misunderstanding regarding the import of some weapons from Felmara, and I'd like to help smooth over the kerfuffle.
Ah, okay. I will see if that business is already on his docket, and if you are required to weigh in on the situation, we can definitely call for you. If you'd like us, where are you staying? Are you staying in an inn? Are you staying with a noble house?
Wait, is my house here? Is where my people live?
You were renting. Yeah, there was a rented house in Norest that you and your servants were kind of living out of.
Is that still?
You don't know. You kind of left.
Listen. Sometimes you have a really weird set of dreams that lead to a nightmare or lead to migraines all the time, and you have to leave because you don't understand what's happening to you.
I know. Yeah. So you can, if you want to check in on that before things happen to see where things are going, but yeah.
I guess I'm trying to think if my one contact who's still in Norest is not a noble who I would be imposing on to stay. So I'm probably staying at an inn. So I'd give him the name of the inn where it could be reached.
Are you staying at a like what sort of lifestyle inn are you staying at? Poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, aristocratic?
I don't think I can afford aristocratic right now. I don't
I'm not
have
sure
very
if you
much
can
money.
afford wealthy. Wealthy is 4 gold a day, so.
Yeah. I'm kind of cash light right now. I'm gonna need to make some money.
You can always sleep under the stars.
I'd rather not. Expenses. Here we go.
The modest would be one gold per room. Comfortable would be 2 gold per room.
I'm probably gonna. I mean, unless somebody else is footing the bill. Like I spent all my money on this alchemist kit to make healing potions. So I have.
Well, I can pay for help pay. I don't know. Anyone else's money situation?
I have 1 gold left.
Amazing.
You have 1 gold left. I can give you gold. I don't need this.
And I assume you would figure out the housing situation before you went to see the prince.
Oh, yeah,
so you're not saying this in front of a seneschal. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
What if we just back up at the beginning of this heist? We managed to score rooms in the palace based on the fact that you guys were buddies in college.
I wasn't that close to the prince and princess. I was their drug dealer. I wasn't their friend.
Excuse what? What?
Love that.
I mean, I ate some of their Chinese food, but that was about it.
Right.
Do I know that you're a drug dealer now? You told me?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would come up in conversation at this point. Recreational substances.
Sounds great.
Just gonna say.
That sounds great. I just it's just all of a sudden, it's like.
I'm not sure if Galahadran has a concept for that.
No, he would think it's great. I just think it's funny, like, Tika thinks it's funny to be like, I sold drugs to the prince in college. Like, just that concept.
Yeah.
No, Galahadran thinks it's great. He's all about parties, so.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we would, get a comfortable inn room.
Okay.
For the party.
2 gold per room, so And there's 2 beds per room.
Caitlin and I are bunking.
All right, so that's for the whole party. That'd be 4 gold a night.
All right, here you can. How many nights are we here? I'll take it out of mine.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
4 gold or 6 gold?
Are you getting a 3rd room for the dogs?
I mean, does Mara want to sleep on a bed?
Mara doesn't sleep on the bed. She sleeps in front of the door.
Oh, then we can just get
In
to
the
it
hallway.
here.
Yeah, so just 4.
Right.
I don't know how long we're gonna be here.
I'll minus it for tonight and just remind me. I'll get it as the there.
Okay.
You have rooms at the Dancing Toad.
The Dancing Toad. What a wonderful name. Are there dancing toads?
No.
Oh.
If you sing good enough.
So true.
Yeah, we used to have a dancing toad, just like sort of taxidermied and had like a little puppet thing, but it rotted.
Oh.
We had to throw it out. We haven't had one in years.
You should get one. Seems dishonest.
Well, you know, it's kind of stank, to be honest. There's your room keys.
Thank you.
We have portraits of the dancing toad, and maybe look, there are pictures of like dancing toads on the walls.
Oh.
It's the best we got. We don't have the toad anymore.
He looked fantastic. I'm sorry
he
for your
did.
loss.
Yep. No, it's fine. It happened, decades ago. So.
Wow. Only Galahad has to think about how long a decade feels like. He doesn't really know. It's like
It's a question.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You have rooms. You have put in. They're like, oh, okay. So there. We will call upon you if needed. I do not know when this will come up in the schedule. How long are you going to be in the city? The Seneschal is asking.
Yeah. I mean, we're planning to stay here for a week, right? At least, because we need to research stuff.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay, so yeah, I'll tell him we'll be here for at least for the next week, and I'll check in with him if I decide to leave.
Of course. I'm not sure if this matter will come up, but if it does, the next 5 days we will reach out to you for your perspective on the situation. Good day to you.
Right, thank you, sir. I'll make my way back to the rest of the party.
Alina, were you going to check out where the house where you're you lived with your servants?
Yeah.
All right. You go. It doesn't look like it's necessarily changed on the outside. Sort of knock on the door. It's like, I'm coming, and Rodrigo opens the door, and he's like, oh, by the Trinity, Alina! Oh, I was worried about you. Where did you run off to? And he leans in to give you a hug.
I hug him back, and I go, well, I got a little mind sick, and I got a knack for wandering, and then I stumbled upon a mystery. It's been.
Oh, no, I can't imagine. It's kind of left abruptly there. We're all worried about you.
How many rooms are in this house? Me asking you, not me asking Rodrigo.
You had your own room, and then the 3 of them kind of like slept between the the shared living quarters.
Okay.
So you is like, well, we kept your room tidy as much as we could. Your stuff you left here is still in there, but yes, afraid that we didn't know what had happened to you. Nil sort of went elsewhere looking for work. Went up north along the border where they need a lot of stable hands for the knights and horses there. But Gorka still drops in occasionally.
I'm
He
very
found work in the castle, if you would believe it.
That's amazing. I'm sorry that I left you.
That's quite alright, as long as you're safe. That was the duty your parents charged us with, so... Yes. Yes, as long as you're safe. So, just nods a bit.
I will do my best to remain safe. I'll come back. I'm in town for about a week or so. I have a lot of stuff to find out about who I am, and she would tell Rodrigo. She would tell Rodrigo everything.
Okay, he pours you guys both just a drink and just sits there and listens to it. And he's like, oh, by the gods, it's quite a story there.
I know. And I don't know if I'm crazy or what. I don't know.
That's not for me to decide. Sounds like you going to be seeing the archbishops anyways, so we'll rely on their wisdom and the guidance of the gods.
Is there anything I can do for you and Gorka?
Oh no, we're fine. We're making ends meet as much as we can. Just kind of, it's a good thing we got out of the duchies alive as we could. We've got our health. We have that. You're all grown up and such. If we wanted to leave and set out on our own, we certainly could. It's just I couldn't bear to do that without knowing you're safe. But now that I do, if there's anything you need and you still wish to retain our services, we'd be more than happy to help. And if you don't, then we've started to make our own lives here. We can make ends meet.
I have always said, indeed, even when I was little, and you would box my ears for it, you are free to do whatever you would like.
Well, I would never, my lady. That's not something I would do. Leave that to the priests.
You know? She laughs. And she goes, but seriously, whatever you decide to do, I support you, and just write me. I will write you. Service or no, you are my family.
I appreciate the sentiment, my lady, but I think you have forgotten I do not know how to read.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Yes. So.
We could draw pictures. I didn't say that out loud.
Sure. Maybe. I don't necessarily know how postage works, but still, it's good to know. And you guys reminisce.
I will ask before I head back out to find Abel and the team. Have you heard from Gavin? Nope. Have you heard from Adian at all?
Adian, unfortunately, no. He doesn't know where we went. We don't know where he went. It was decided, as you know, when your parents split you. It was imperative that neither group would know the location or goals of the other, just in case one of you fell into the wrong hands. They wouldn't be able to use them as a leverage to get to the other. So no, I have not reached out. They have not found a way to contact us. I assume they're somewhere safely in Xeris, and I hope that he is doing just as well as you are.
I hope as well. All right. Take care of yourself, please.
You as well, my lady.
And after reminiscing and stuff like that, I will go find the team.
All right. Guys would meet up after sort of those two meetings. Where would you like to go?
We'll probably meet up at the Archbishop's.
All right, the Cathedral Carrick.
Yeah.
Okay. The central square of Norest is big. Like Trentham is dominated by the Cathedral de Carrick, which is basically the entire floating gardens. Like, it does not have the standard build of an Avency city because it's so dedicated to one god. Which means that the largest square that any of you guys have seen in a traditional sense, with like traditional cathedrals placed around each other, is in Norest, and is in the center of sort of the more common area of the city. outside of the inner walls, so that people going about their day can come and go through them as needed, because the cathedrals of the religion of the Trinity are as much administrative hubs as they are places of worship. The cathedral to Carrick, all of them are large because they just have so many additional duties that they do as on top of what the cathedrals in like Dranis and such would do. The one for Felmar is especially big because in addition to the regular like administrative centers for quality control for guilds and educational facilities and stuff, and it has a wing that is the largest library in Bosmar, and it also has another wing that is a sort of museum of collected works of art, paintings from the Imperial Age, and the newer ones as well, recovered artifacts, as much historical records as people could find from across Aventicuum, as sort of a grand collection of things, including a sort of small off-wing that is known as the Hall of the Knights Eternal, that has the paintings of each of the Knights Eternal that you were all familiar with and you have seen sketches of in the books that you have been given by the bishop in Pontem. But yeah, so it's the Cathedral Felmar is kind of like a mini Smithsonian sort of place. And there are many people everywhere. I don't know which point of view you want to first try to get an audience with the Archbishop. Do you want to go and look at the displays first? What are we doing?
I guess we could get in the queue to see the Archbishop.
Okay.
And then...
So yeah, you walk up to like one of the deacons who is sort of running the main entryway, sort of like information desk, I guess. And what are you saying to him? Like, what are you requesting, and why?
Listen, Abel's the talker.
Yeah.
Do you want to just hand me the letter of introduction and let me go?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go up to the deacon and say, "Excuse me, good sir. We seek an audience with the Archbishop. We seek you need consultation on a spiritual matter. We have a little letter of introduction here from the Bishop of Pontem."
Of course, I can get this to the Archbishop. Can I get your names, good sirs?
Yes, it'd be Abel Whitewater and Eilina Catala.
Very good. Yes, I will get this to him. Certainly, is in some meetings right now, but he will be free later this afternoon. And if he has time, we will reach out to you. But if it's not an urgent matter, then we let us know where you're staying, and we can call upon you in the following days.
We're staying at the Dancing Toad.
Very well, very good. He writes that down. He's like, and he doesn't open the letter. He doesn't read it. He's just like, I will get this to the Archbishop post haste. But until then, let us know if you need anything. Please enjoy the cathedral.
Yes, I think we'll be perusing the galleries for the next couple of hours if the Archbishop finds some time.
All right, very good. Yeah, and you are sort of left to peruse the place.
And peruse we do.
There any things you are looking for in particular?
Sea breeze things.
Sea breeze things?
That's
All
what
right.
would be here.
Okay, well.
That's a different mystery. I mean, I guess I assume that Eilina and Abel have probably visited here before when they were at the academy.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we'll give everybody the tour of the place and kind of show everybody around, and then after we've done that, we can try and like examine I guess so. You said that there's like there's the whole wing dedicated to the Knights Eternal. Yeah.
Yes.
Are
There
there?
is a They're off the side of the sort of museum wing. There is a small room with a stained glass dome ceiling, and the walls are like it's not dodecahedron because I think there's more than 12. I think there's 14 of them, but like there's the walls have flat surfaces and sort of arranged geometrically, and each of the sort of flat sections of the walls has a like 10-foot tall painting depicting one of the Knights Eternals and like a plaque underneath it naming them and describing their weapons and such like that.
Okay. Are there any other artifacts besides that? Because I feel like most of this would be in our book. I guess we could do like a comparison.
But yeah, the most of it is the book had like shaving or sketches of the paintings, but now you see them in their full size. Let's see. You can definitely tell, like in the book said this previously, but the picture of the portrait of Gavin is definitely of a much different style than the others, and it says underneath it is sort of the explanation. It's like the original portrait of Sir Gavin the Daring was destroyed sometime after the founding of Bosmar. The original portrait and inscription have been lost. A replacement has been hung in its place, although many historians believe that it more closely resembles the king who commissioned it rather than Gavin himself. I will also note for Alina that the portrait of Rhea perfectly matches all the others except for Gavin's in style. Like the odd one out is only Gavin's.
I'm gonna make a note of that. Gavin is odd.
I don't know this woman. Who is this lady?
Oh, well, that is Rhea the Beautiful, of course, and like a deacon walks up to answer your question.
The beautiful or the selfless?
It's selfless.
Of a selfless, the beautiful, she was renowned for her beauty, but some call her selfless.
So I know out of character you've had like visions of this person, right? But you haven't shared any of those with us, have you?
So the only visions of a person that I like, a different person, because I've had visions of me on battlefields.
Right.
You've had visions from your own from somebody's perspective. So
yes.
you've never like had a third person like camera behind the back to see like they've all been head on like point of view. Not
But
TikTok point of view, but actual point of view.
Yes, but the only person I have seen is Owen.
I believe so. I believe that was the only time that your vision's activated, and you saw Owen. Yeah.
Does it match the port? I guess. Have you told us about these visions?
I told the bishop and Galahadron was there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, everyone was there when I had the vision of Owen. I would have. I would have told.
So I guess I'll just ask Alina. So do they match what you've seen?
As much as Lev hates the art for Owen, I love it, so I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, it matches. I'm kind of locked into using it at this point.
Well, good. I love it, and you hated it, and
I liked the other one I had better, and you vetoed it.
Listen, this man is fine. This man is fine
sure.
and that's what I want.
The only difference is that the Owen of your memory was dressed in fuller plate regalia, like he was fully armored and such, had like a cloak. Like his clothing was a bit different. He didn't have the trident, he didn't have the blindfold, instead his eyes just blazed with technicolor just radiance, and his wings were much bigger and sort of outstretched behind him. He looked far more like this. This picture is what is sort of the the image of like the legendary knight and king who united the lands, like it's a very powerful, prestigious picture. The memory of Owen makes this a pale facsimile in comparison.
I would explain all that. I know I asked before, but now they're life-size and in color. Galahadron, are you sure you do not remember? Do any of these portraits look like your Green Knight?
Hadron thinks for a moment. Well, in a sense, they all do. And they all sort of don't. These mortals all look younger, if that makes sense.
That does.
The Green Knight in your memory was definitely more like, not necessarily older, but definitely more worn and tired. Jaded, yes.
He had a serious aspect about him that wasn't a solemnness that wasn't like a ready for battle sort of thing. I mean, I've gone through the stories. I hesitate to guess because I feel as though guessing his name is, I mean, it would be rude to speculate on someone's name. But I do think he might be the righteous one. Maybe.
Out of character? Barf.
Barf? Oh no.
Out of character. And Galahadron did not hear that.
Is he a bad man? Oh no.
I will not lie, out of character. This is driving me insane. I need to know. I want to know the mystery. I want to know who it is.
Yeah, that's good. I made a good mystery then. Fuck you.
They were a fantastic storyteller, captivating, but deeply, almost sad. Brittle.
So, with a lot of these, they appear to have, like, elvish ears. I don't think, have we talked about this before? Like, are they all supposed to be human, or are some of them elves or like other races?
So here's the thing. You yourself have a decent amount of elven blood where you probably have a slight point to your ears. When I put human and half-elf in the descriptions, if you're noble, you almost certainly have some level of elven blood in you. Half-elf is just like, yeah, you either had one parent who was a full elf or you had two parents who were like half and half. Like, it's just a measure of how strong the blood is of elven ancestry. So most noble, they look noble to you. That is what the ears would sort of ascribe. They look like they are more of a noble imperial lineage.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
After I guess not necessarily changed races, but like sort of changed races. Did my ears change?
You did not have any physical changes. In game terms, I would put it as you are human. You have much less elven blood than Abel does because you're from the duchies, so you do not have a noble imperial lineage. You did not gain or change any additional features. You just gained your activated abilities.
Cool. I was just checking.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Because if pointy ears are considered a symbol of nobility, the queen doesn't have pointy ears.
That's because she's I didn't say that.
Okay.
I quietly said that's because she's a
There are
bitch.
some that don't have pointy ears, including Gavin, which is odd. and I can't quite tell from Ria's. She might have pointy ears, I think. And yeah, there's some where the hair covers it. But yeah, not all of them in the pictures have pointy ears. I wonder if is this considered significant? I feel like this is something scholars would debate.
Are you asking one of the scholars who's kind of looking around offering to answer questions?
Yeah, I would ask what the significance is. Is like I would expect that either all of them would have like. So here's a good question: do I have pointed ears? Because I didn't imagine myself having very pointy ears.
That is a question. You don't necessarily need to. Your elven relation is literally like lunar spirit. You call him great uncle. It's more like great like grandfather.
Yeah. That's why I do love the concept of, a family member in the distant past who got married to an elf, and then the elf half of the family is like still hanging around.
Yeah. So there's like 200 years removed, because your family is the family that was in charge of Pontem when the Empire fell.
Yeah.
Like you have imperial lineage. It's up to you how pointy your ears are. I don't think that any of your cousins have necessarily pointy ears. Your uncle certainly doesn't. But then you have your mother could have been of a higher birth. You never really specified. Could have been from a lower birth because it's a branch family. Like that's up to you.
I'm gonna say I do have slightly pointy ears, because part of the reason for the marriage was she's a little bit more elven.
Yeah.
And so just like bringing that back in.
I will also say the royal family of Bosmar, round ears, round as fuck. They do not have pointed ears, so it's not necessary.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a thing, and this is across the Venticum, of a little bit of elven blood, even if like Xeris, the royal family, they're orcs, and they still have a little bit of elven blood for the same reason. So, like the imperial elves just kind of got the ones who survived, which was not many. Either were killed in the duchies or married into noble families. There's very few full-blooded elves left.
Okay. Well, except for the one that's right here with us. Just look over at Phelan.
Again, well, you guys consider him elf, but Galahadron does not consider himself an elf.
Phelan.
No, Phelan.
And I also need to stress imperial elves.
Okay.
A wood elf would, just by pedigree, you could probably get away with it. I'm not sure what the physiological differences would be between wood elves and high elves in this setting.
Well, we got to decide
it's
now.
more cultural than anything else, I think. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say it's more cultural. It's just the way they carry themselves and they talk and their mannerisms. It's like when
whether or not you can talk to bugs.
Sure, it's more about when freed Africans from America went back to Liberia, and the people who had never left Africa are like, oh, I can tell by the way you walk that you are not from Africa, like that sort of thing.
Huh.
I didn't know that was the thing.
That was a big thing. Liberia had a shit ton of issues because of that.
How did people walk differently? Now I'm curious.
I don't know. I just know that because there were so many, they could tell at a glance who was who. There formed a very strong cultural differences between the two groups.
No, that doesn't sound
Despite,
like it did well.
Well, Liberia, it's west coast of Africa. So.
Okay, but yeah, so we'll go with Abel does actually have a little bit of a pointy ear, like like just enough that it's like you look at it. If you just glanced at it, you wouldn't notice, but if you like look at it closely, you can tell.
Funnily enough, I actually have little points in my ears too, so it's funny.
There you go. We're borrowing your ears, Lev. You can be an ear model.
Oh, please no.
So yeah, I'll
Oh, yes. What can I do for you?
So I was just.
You have any questions?
Looking at the ears,
Oh, yes. Oh,
So
it's not a question I get very often. I'm surprised you noticed that.
well, I was just curious, as it being generally a shorthand for nobility and all. Uh, so out of character. Are all of these Knights Eternal considered human?
Uh,
Were any of them considered to be elves?
None of them were considered to be elves.
Okay.
They were all considered to be human of some sort. Although it is again one of those like mythological enough things that it's not really. Could have been, could have not been.
Yeah,
Like
nobody's sure exactly.
yeah, like everything's an interpretation
Right.
because they're
Okay, so yeah,
what
this is like, as far as I'm aware, their lineage of the Knights Eternal is mostly considered to be human, uh, and so I can understand maybe if as a embellishment later, the ears were maybe exaggerated.
Well, it's actually fun. These portraits, from what we can tell, are imperial portraits from sort of the mid-empire, we believe. They were luckily saved by the army of the Northwest Fort and preserved up until nowadays, except for the one of Gavin, of course, unfortunately. So there are speculations on what the choices between the ears, whether ones with more pointed ones were considered more noble at the time of the portrait, whether the ones more rounded were more of champions of the common people, if you would. There's some discussion on whether the queen's obviously rounded ears were to sort of show that she was more from the people as sort of their representative to the Trinity themselves. She was their high priestess at the time. Although I will say most people they comment more on the hair color than the ears. It's very sharp to notice.
You mean the green? That is a very unusual hair color.
As far as you are aware, that is literally what they use to draw the queen. That's it. Nobody else
gets green hair.
Nobody else gets green hair. There are some people who will dye their hair in order to look like more queenly and stuff, but nobody else in like popular presentation has like everybody else's hair are normal colored hairs.
Okay. So I guess I'll continue discussing the art with the deacon.
Yeah, he goes through like the style and like, oh yes, and we can tell this is mid-imperial because blah 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 blah. And just like gives you like a Renaissance, history lesson for like the technical stuff. I do not have that deep of cultural notes, but he does.
Okay. Yeah, because I imagine these paintings have been studied ad nauseum.
Oh yes, they are some of the best representations and most well preserved depictions of the knights outside of Avency itself. And that is one of the things that the Regency is very big on, is to trying to like preserve things. So it's like, oh yes, we're quite proud of these. The Regency has tried to acquire these many times, but they are a national treasure, and we refuse to let them have them.
Of course. I couldn't imagine anyone trading away our national treasures for anything.
It would be a travesty.
It would be a travesty.
Hilarious.
I'm trying to think. Would Abel know the significance of the green hair beyond just it's the symbol of the queen?
It's the symbol of the queen. You can roll a history check, but there's nothing on the die that it's just that's just how the queen is drawn with green hair.
I guess I will. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I will ask about the hair. It's like, yes, I was also wondering about the hair. Is if there was a deeper symbolism there. As far as I'm aware, it's just
There is great debate. There are some who believe that it was a gift by Carrick, seeing as how much of the land that is part of the Empire of the Coresian Plains. It was, a symbol of how Carrick is the foremost of the gods, which of course other regions dispute. And you would know that Carrick in Bosmar is definitely the chief amongst the gods too. Not necessarily the leader of them, but just every country ranks them in relative importance, and just Bosmar puts up Carrick because Carrick is not only agriculture but also defense and protection against the hordes of monsters outside the borders.
I see.
It's like that is the most common interpretation. But it's a mystery. It's a fairly consistent shorthand that you see. She gets the green hair. Owen gets the wings and the blindfold. In post-Imperial times, more recent depictions of the Knights Eternal, they also get wings, but those are not present during the Imperial portraits, which is always very curious. Only Owen had them initially. But no, the Queen's hair stays green throughout. It doesn't change very much. Even if other aspects of her appearance can change, more regal regalia fitting the fashion of the times, or more plain clothes to sort of show her as her life before finding King Owen. Some people speculate that she was maybe like a farmhand or someone of the common people to sort of contrast against Owen's being selected, chosen by the gods or such.
This feels weighted for me to use my specific ability.
I mean, if you want to.
Like
I'm not sure if there's a bit more weighted place intentionally or unintentionally. Like, this is literally history checks about the Knight Eternal. Like,
and I do plan on spending however long we're in here. We're in Norris to come here every day to make one of these checks, by the way.
You can just make them. The point of that ability is per long rest. You can just
That's what I mean. Keep coming back. And
yeah, like I will say, the things that you get from using that ability are things you wouldn't get even on a natural 20 of a regular history check. Like, that ability is specifically visions. Otherwise, you're not getting visions. So are you activating the ability, or are you just rolling a history check?
Oh, you may use your reaction to see. Check. Oops. I can read.
Yeah.
I'm using my ability.
Okay, so what exactly are you delving for?
Well, Abel seems pretty stuck on this green-haired situation. I am studying. What did I name her? Genevieve? I'm studying Queen Genevieve's portrait. And I am... It's the green hair.
Okay. Is that the only thing you're meditating on, or are there other tangential things that are sort of occupying your mind?
Ask your ghost about the ears.
If you want. Okay. I'm thinking about green hair, the significance of pointed to non-pointed ears, and Owen's blind. I'm trying to. I don't want to, because I'm going to be doing this multiple times, but for now.
How many charges do you have?
Well, we're gonna be here for a week.
Takes an extended rest to recharge.
No, that's fine.
It takes 5 days to recharge of extended resting.
So I really gotta think. I gotta phrase this correctly then.
I was also saying any vision that involves Genevieve is going to confirm her hair color. Like, that's a nothing burger. Okay. Similarly with ears, like, if you see the Knights Eternal, you can like, oh, what do her ears look like? Like, those are. You got to give me something more.
You could see who the Green Knight is. A Genevieve and Green Knight conversation.
She has no idea who that is. And she can't just say, I'm thinking of the Green Knight, because she has nothing to connect that to. That's going to fizzle.
Well, whatever their stories, I got their point of view from the stories, so, like, whatever my descriptions of the battles are from their
Yeah, you can ask about battles or whatnot. Not sure if Genevieve would be at battles, but yeah.
You could have Galahadrin describe to you some of the stories, and as Galahadrin is telling the story, you kind of slip into the memory.
Oh, this is so...
It's weighted. It's heavy. I love
it. I also love it, but it is very stressful. What do I want answered the most currently, or as close to an answer as you will give me right now? I mean, I know what she because what she wants to know the most right now is if Rhea looked like her, or if she looked like Rhea specifically, or she's going to think about the round table, if you will, and seeing if she can recall any memories where she can see either herself in a mirror or
you could do a meeting of all of the Knights Eternal, and then whoever you don't see, that's the person your perspective is from.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Okay, so you're just sort of looking at all these portraits and trying to just remember the Knights Eternal?
But it feels too vague.
Do you mind if I suggest things?
Yes, please, go ahead. That will is very helpful. I am lost.
You could look around and try and imagine and wonder about the last time all of the Knights Eternal were together. The last time.
The last time, like not the first last time, but the last time.
Like basically at the end of their story. Right?
Yes, I would like to
when
see.
they broke apart for whatever reason.
Yes, I like that a lot. I will take that.
Okay. So phrase that to me about what you're reaching towards.
She is reaching towards the last moment that they were all together before they split to go their separate ways. I don't remember the history. I'm gonna have to look that up real fast.
Oh yeah, because Owen just left, right? Yeah, Owen and the Queen were taken by the gods to their holy realm. And the Knights Eternal spread themselves throughout the Empire to wait their king's return. So I imagine there's a moment before that where they either the knights witnessed him and witnessed the king and queen ascending to heaven and then all left in different directions, or when they were all saying their goodbyes, something along those lines.
Yes. The last moment they were all together before. I wouldn't. The problem is I would say Rose would say before the first end, because I know things that Alina does not know.
You gave me prompts, but it doesn't necessarily mean you know.
That is true. That is true. Well, what I think I know.
Yeah. Okay. So let me think on this, because that's I want to make sure that I pin this at the right point in the timeline, but I have on my stuff. So everybody else in the portrait room, you see Alina sort of looking up at Genevieve and sort of staring at her eyes and the hair and the face and the halo around it, and her own eyes go oily black with a rainbow sheen on them as she just becomes gets a 1,000-yard stare is an understatement as she's looking up at this portrait. Alina, You are seeing through a perspective. You are in a old castle. It is something that looks in a very old style, probably older than Imperial. Like it's not any architecture that you would recognize, but you feel that in your modern concept it would be old, but in your current point of view, this is a new fortress. This is a fortress that King Owen had built in order to house his army and protect the land in wherever area that you are in. And you are looking at King Owen, and he does not have a blindfold. He does not have wings that are outstretched. He is wearing his hair down. He is in not decked out for battle. He does not have his armor. He is wearing more a regal cut, but still like a military uniform. Nothing incredibly flashy. Just he is king by his presence alone, because there is a shimmering light that sort of shines from his eyes, even off the battlefield, even here at rest. And he is looking not at you, but at somebody else off to the side of you, with just a look of make an insight check to see if you can tell the emotions on his face. This is a face that you feel you're familiar with. I'm still going to make you roll insight.
No.
It is inscrutable. Of all the years that you have known King Owen, you're not sure what you expected to him. You expected him to feel strongly in this moment. You can sort of feel this weight of expectation, but whatever he is truly feeling and thinking is just beyond your comprehension in this time. He does not feel it does not look like he is feeling emotions that you would recognize in your times with him. And
I have a question. Can I look around? Or
you are on rails, but you are about to look around.
Okay.
You look and you follow his gaze, and you see a green-haired woman in very fine dress, emblazoned with like gold and jewels and such. Just very much the picture of a queen, except she is sobbing into the arms of a man who is dressed in his sort of knightly armor that you would recognize as Elias, who is trying to comfort her as she is just crying and sobbing. And you are sort of staying there looking at this scene. And then as you see this, Genevieve just sort of looks up, stops her crying for a bit, looks up and stares at you, and just says in a very low, threatening voice, "This is all your fault. This is not how it was supposed to happen." And then your vision ends.
Ooh. That's not all of us, but that works. I feel like Alina would take would rock.
You
back.
stumble.
Galahad swoops to try and catch you. I don't know if you fully fall.
She will lay a hand and like lean into Galahad a little bit as she steadies herself, and she looks at both Galahad and Abel with sort of wide eyes, and tries to compose herself because they are in public.
Are you all right, miss? I know these paintings are very moving, but if you have a poor constitution, I would suggest there's a bench over here that you can sit at, and sort of points to a viewing bench in like the center of the room, further away from the portraits. They're very concerned for your health.
Thank you.
Well, did you see an epic battle? Fighting. Heroism.
Fighting of kind, I guess.
Was the queen's hair green?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Well, there you go.
Mystery solved.
She was crying?
Was she injured?
No, she was, and I explained to the best of my ability the vision I saw, so I don't have to.
So you don't have to roleplay out this very stressful.
It is
emotional.
very crisp in your mind. So.
Well, fair. No, I'll roleplay it out. Actually, matter of fact, I don't think she could be succinct in that moment. She was. King Owen was on his throne. He was wearing his normal clothes. I meant to ask, before I continue,
He was
how was
not sitting
I
on a
feeling?
throne. You were standing in like a hall of what was probably a castle. He was not sitting on a throne.
Okay. How was I feeling? Because you didn't really describe. How did I feel when I looked upon, or the person I was inhabiting? I guess. What was the emotion that
tense, expectant, nervous, unsure of how things got like this and what way they're going to turn. Upset.
So nothing like anger or...
Probably some anger mixed in there.
Okay.
I think a little bit of anger, but not what Rose is thinking of anger.
That's fair. That's why I asked. Because I have very strong opinions about that specific moment.
Yep.
If that is the moment I'm thinking of.
You can go ahead and make an insight check against your vision.
On my, well, we saw how the last one rolled.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one better.
I think that you would have felt an anger buried there, but an anger replaced by this tension. Of this is not how you expected this to go. There was anger, but it was toothless.
Okay. Owen was standing, and I felt like I'd known him for, would you say a long time?
Oh yeah.
I felt like I'd known him for a long time. But I couldn't read his face. I couldn't read his emotions, but he wasn't looking at me. I don't think his, whatever that emotion was necessarily directed at me, but it was directed at Elias and Genevieve. I was tense. It wasn't supposed to go like this. I don't know what went or how it was supposed to go, but I just remember feeling, I just know that I feel that it didn't turn out how I thought. I had been angry. If it was me, Elias was holding her, she was crying, and she looked at me and she said, "This is your fault, this is not how it should have gone."
Perhaps you came back from a battle. You just didn't see who was wounded?
And what is my fault? And
Abel,
she is crying.
Yeah, the deacon turns to Abel and says, does your friend often suffer from delusions? Should we call the healer?
You are not welcome to this conversation.
Oh, I was only trying to be helpful.
You are not. You are being nosy.
I'm gonna pull the deacon aside, and
I'm just very concerned for that young woman's health. She seems like she had a bit of a spell there.
yes, she's been experiencing some troubling visions. We're not sure what to make of them. That's part of the reason why we're here, actually.
Oh, I see. Well, I hope if you need any, do you need me to get a father to sort of consult her on anything?
We've already made an appointment.
And as you say that, another priest in father's robes comes in, like more higher ranked robes comes in. It's like, Sir Catalia, Sir Whitewater, either of you present here?
I hold up my hand and say, yes. What can I do for you, Father?
Yes, no, the Archbishop would like to see you immediately.
I clap the deacon on the shoulder and say, well, sounds like our appointment is here.
I would imagine so. I did not know that you were having me. Good day. I wish you both the best. And he just sort of scurries away.
He's like, I'm on the edge of something really important happening.
It's like, oh, these people are important. I should not be here.
Run away.
Yeah. He was trying to be helpful.
He was,
was.
yeah. That's why I kind of let him down gently.
I've made a lot of dickish characters. This was not one of them.
That's very much.
Listen,
so.
but
I
from
just
what we
imagined
learned-
him appearing like right beside me while we're having an emotional conversation and
He
being
helped Alina
what?
sit down too. Like he was explaining the paintings when she had a spell. Like
Galahadron is
Yeah.
very protective. I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Did he have a name tag? You don't have to make up the name, but like.
no,
You
no.
have to
The
make up a
deacons do
name
not
right
have
now.
name tags.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna as we're walking with the father say that deacon over there that you just saw with me was very helpful with explaining the paintings and giving background. Please send him my commendations.
Of course. Glad to hear that. Yeah, come this way. Archbishop's spade will meet you now, and he leads you into the sort of like office administrative section of the cathedral. You are taken to the furthest back hall that opens into a large office filled with books and knickknacks and such, and sitting in a wheeled chair with a deacon attendant sort of standing behind him is a very old, like mid-90s human. Sort of looks at you. It's like, Miss Catalia and Mr. Whitewater and your companions. My name is Archbishop Kenneth Spade, and I have been eagerly awaiting your arrival. And that is where we are going to call it.
Archbishop Spade. I've taken notes. I was gonna. There's not a lighthearted moment, but I was gonna say if it was too much, or if it was, what was my joke? Sorry, I'm getting tired. Abel can give you drugs. We had a discussion about drugs, about what the mechanics of his drug thing was. You can just have drugs. Yeah. It sounds rough. Here's some for Loco.